Today we're going to be interviewing Marvin Jacobs, a biokineticist. 15 years in the industry, very passionate about what he does.
Yes,
Is
sir.
that correct, 15 years?
15 years, absolutely, yeah. Still loving it, still
loving
going.
it. You look like you're still loving it. Marvin, what does a biokineticist do?
Dalton, we cover so many different aspects of fitness and well-being. A lot of it is orthopedic rehabilitation. We work with people with chronic diseases, metabolic abnormalities, just your average Joe on the street and average Jane. We make them feel good about themselves. So it's training, but it's I would like to think a bit more than that, because we also tap into their well-being, not just about physical but also mental, and we try and equip clients with the tools to go forward.
I mean, my experience in working with, I've been training for a while, sort of like at a gym, but I think since working with you, especially with my shoulder injuries, I started to see a more holistic approach to training. So especially I got a lot of joint injuries. So I found that working and understanding the body a bit better, so able to prepare myself and equip myself for the long term. And so I think that's what I've enjoyed about the process with you. Yeah.
Geez, thanks, Dalton. I think it is a compliment, massive compliment. And that's the approach. It's teaching someone about what it went wrong, how we're going to fix it, and what they're going to be doing going forward to prevent that from happening again, more importantly. So you got to be in this, you know, as a biokineticist, you got to be knowing that this is passion. You got to be passion driven. Yeah. You got to give of your all, and you're trying to help the next person in every way possible. So you find people coming in there with mental issues. You try your best.
Feeds together, more feeds in.
Yeah, so you're elderly, everyone, you know, you try and make everyone feel good about themselves somewhere. So if someone leaves the practice smiling, I've done my job. Yeah.
So let me swing over to your work in the corporate space. How's that looking? How can you add value? I'm a business owner, or I'm heading up a department. I've got 100 staff members. How could you sort of add value from a holistic employee wellness? How could you feed into that?
So there's a couple of things that add value to a corporate company or to a business. One being ergonomic assessments. Another one, you know,
it's a fancy word, but you can explain it.
I'll explain that. Yeah. There's been widespread research around the efficacy of exercise within the workplace, and the benefits of it. Employees, there's productivity that increases. There's lower absenteeism. And there's just a general feel of wellness. I think, you know, engagement with other peers, that's sort of where this goes. And that's a great thing to add to a corporate.
So practically speaking, ergonomics, I'm sitting at my desk, I'm spending 9 hours a day at my laptop. Yeah. What does that look like?
So we try to make this, we try to keep everything simple. We look at positioning of the body, the chair from the table, your workstation. There we go. We're looking at your hand on the mouse, how far it is from the mouse. We're looking at your mouse pad. We're looking at all of those things, because those things add or take away from your performance, for lack of a better word. So it's also important that we look at everything as not just looking at you at the table and chair and saying, okay, you're okay. It's actually, there's a formula used to get you in the right
that's
position or posture. Yeah. The best thing that's ever happened to me was COVID. During this time, one or two corporates had approached me and asked me if I could do some training with their employees. And the Teams and Zooms just most certainly helped us. In fact, we could reach more people using this platform.
So instead of going to each branch, you can run.
So we're saving time and reaching more people. Some of the corporates are dialing on a Wednesday, for example, at 12 o'clock, or on a Friday at 8 o'clock, and we do some basic exercises at the workstation, and then have them go on and do their meetings. Sure. So there was a bit of fun, because there's anticipation on a Wednesday and a Friday, because they're going to see Marvin doing a couple of exercises, and then on they go with a meeting.
So you got all of them, or the cameras on?
The cameras are on. Cameras have to be on.
But you know what's cool about that? I'm thinking, so one of the main drivers for 360 is an integrated approach. So you're not only doing the fitness aspect and your health, that's also feeding into team building.
No, absolutely, yes.
So it's a lot of fun in that time slot, in the working hours. Everybody's together online.
Yeah.
And you seem like you got a lot of energy. So I can just imagine the team building it creates, it kind of all links, and that I
definitely.
think you,
So,
yeah.
so South Africans are fond of the word "gees,"
Yes,
and
yes,
and
yes.
that's what it's about. It's
Yeah.
about making this fun. I think there's a stigma around exercise and getting fit and getting strong, and that's not everyone's cup of tea. But it's about feeling good, and if exercise does that, then you're on the right track. You know, so it's about making fun, taking people on a different journey. And also making them not believe that they're actually doing something that's good for them, believe it or not. People want to just do something because they like doing it.
Okay, so why is this so important? I know we touched on it a bit now, but why is fitness so important for overall mental health and well-being?
So again, I don't want to refer to COVID all the time, but I think that was it's a very interesting time, especially in the fitness industry.
Yeah.
Gyms were closed and a lot of people stayed away. And then we used other platforms. And I think it was important that we as fitness professionals still went out and reached out to people. Whether they wanted the service or not, that was one thing. But for those that we kept in contact with, seemed to show a significantly better approach to life than those who didn't. I think,
Sure.
you know, it's about consistency. I always believe in just showing up. There are days you don't feel like doing any exercise, but when that person reaches out to you and says, "Come, let's do it," and let me do this in a sort of non-intimidating way, people enjoy that. People feel, okay, well, I'm doing something, and guess what? It is good for you. So that was it. It was just keeping the momentum going, keeping the consistency going, and I think that just it spoke volumes, you know.
Yeah, I like what you said. It actually ties into your overall outlook on life.
Yes.
So I think that the body has an interesting play on the mind.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I can just imagine, especially like COVID is probably a good test to see how we deal with some of those difficulties. So
Yeah.
understanding the body and looking after the body, I think, is important.
Definitely.
It'll probably take me to my next question. We're bombarded with a lot of information around fitness and magazines, and so you look really good. Bashnet and I were having a good laugh at your guns earlier on. Listen, you spend your entire day, you active because you're busy with people,
Yeah.
and then I mean I've seen you as well training, lifting some heavy weights. Is this the ideal? I think for people to understand fitness, with all the messages we're getting from the culture, Men's Health front cover magazine and those kind of things, and all these fad diets and all these things, social media, is this the ideal?
Most certainly not.
I think it's important because
Well, it's nice to have a goal. It's nice to have a goal.
Okay.
It's nice to aspire to look like someone, but it's also being in the best space or in the best position that you could possibly be. So again, I always say there's different strokes for different folks. I don't know what your circumstances are, but I do believe that routine is key. Much like I wake up every morning and I brush my teeth and I go to bed and I brush my teeth. Whether I'm going outside or not, I do it. I find time to train because it's become part of my life. Not because I want to look a certain way.
so it's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle. It's because I feel good after training. The endorphin rush that I get after training, during training, the sense of feeling good is there. And my day is set. I mean, if I train at 12 o'clock, I keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm still on it high. So training has added so much value to my life. And I want other people to share this.
I've seen you taking your little ones around the park as well, walking
Yes.
with them. Yeah.
Yes.
So you don't need to pump heavy weights like you to get
No,
the endorphins going. A good walk around the common or something like that can do the job.
Yeah, so I try to, again, it's teaching, it's constant teaching.
Yes, yes.
And educating. people
Educating
about-
the
Yeah, and I start with my family first, you know. So whether they're going to be sportsmen one day or not, that's irrelevant. They just got to keep moving, keep active, because it's so good for you mentally. And that's what I try to drive home. more than anything
mental
else.
health is such a big thing at the moment.
Yeah, it is.
And to understand how sort of fitness builds into that is important. So in terms of, we had a branch that we were looking after, and we had some people struggling with mental health. Whenever we would have the discussion, we would bring in the fitness element. And I think just going back to the 360, it's about integration.
Yeah.
So we would look at their work performance, but have the discussion around, are you exercising? You know, how's your sleep? And I think next week we got a sleep scientist and a dietitian coming in as well. Because it's all
Ties in.
building blocks.
Absolutely.
So you don't only focus on fitness,
Yes.
I've heard you speak about the importance of your eating and your sleep. Well, it's holistic.
It's holistic. It is holistic. There's so many aspects in but it's all interlinked.
Yeah. Don't isolate anything.
You can't isolate it. So if I always tell you that I train all the time, but I eat really bad and I don't sleep,
Then you're out of balance.
then I'm out of balance.
Yeah.
So it's important that you get everything going.
Yeah.
But you get there in time.
Yes.
So you start off with one aspect and you move forward with that, and then everything else sort of ties in quite nicely with that, yeah.
So Marvin, final words of wisdom for our audience.
I'm going to keep it simple. Employees, just keep moving. Doesn't have to be anything wow or adventurous. It can be as simple as a walk, a daily walk, but just try and create a routine. And then for employers, this is a massive value add-on. And just in terms of productivity, you will definitely reap the benefits of a strong workforce. Like I said earlier on, Dalton, lower absenteeism, increased productivity. I mean, that's a great combination, yeah.
Marvin, thanks again for your time. You can really add value in the employee wellness landscape, and mental health is something that we all need to focus on.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see how you can contribute in that area.
Looking forward to it, Dalton. Thank you.
To our audience, a reminder, the power of integration of various disciplines. Whether it's fitness, like we did today, sleep science, nutrition, it all filters in to drive mental health and employee wellness. And to do that, to facilitate integration, we need to be relational in our approach to bringing all these disciplines together. And that's the heart of 360 Consulting. And a reminder that we are relational and not transactional. So we look forward to working with you and your business.